Hi everybody, it's Dr. Chabot and we are now in week 3. Again, I'm just going to start real quick and say you guys are doing a great job keeping up at the asynchronous course. Online can be really difficult. I've tried to again pace the deadlines so that it just sort of forces you to stay on top of the material. We don't fall behind. So great work. I have 2 main announcements for this week, and I'll try to keep them quick because you're watching a lot of videos and busy. The first is related to the lab. So Lab 0, you guys did great, and good job reaching out to me. I'm going to do the same thing this week with Lab 1 and make it due on Friday, but encourage you to finish it by Wednesday. And then we'll try to get into our Wednesday deadline starting next week. In the shared folder, within the next, by noon on Monday, that's today, June 7th, you'll see now every lab. So if your group does want to kind of, work ahead if it's a topic we've covered, you're welcome to do that. Or you can get your individual portions done on the labs whenever you want, and then just work as a group as needed. So all of the labs are available and up in that shared drive. If you have any issues with your lab group, contacting them, anything like that, feel free to DM me and we will figure something out. Okay, so great job on that. So that's the labs, they're all available, and so just make sure you're working on the correct one. The next announcement has to do with our first quiz. So this one I will talk a little bit more about because it is our first one. There are 7 quizzes during the semester. These quizzes are in the quiz environment in my courses where you've been taking the check-ins. The check-ins are like the problem sets. You can ask for help, you can work with each other, you can do whatever you want. The quizzes are open notes, open book. You can use Wolfram Alpha for the math, I don't care. But you have to work independently. And so the work that you do has to be your own. They replace the exams, the in-semester exams. So during the normal semester, we have in-semester exams and then the final. But with an asynchronous course, that can be a lot of pressure to have on just these 2 exams. So instead, I'm spreading it out into smaller sort of bite-sized quizzes where you can demonstrate your knowledge for that week. And so that's what these quizzes are. Quiz 1 and all the future quizzes have the same format, which is that there is 1 hour. It is a timed quiz, so when you start it, you will have 1 hour to finish it. And then you are shown, there are 8 questions, and you are shown 2 at a time. And then you can't move backwards. And so then you're shown the next 2, and then you're shown the next 2, and then you're shown the next 2, and you can't move backwards. So you're given about 7 minutes per question. Some are going to be really easy conceptual questions, and then some might involve a calculation. So it's all an average. It's made so that you should be able to finish it in plenty of time. But just be aware that you can't skip a question and then come back to it. So you just want to work through methodically. I will share my screen quickly just to show you here, in our week 3 thing, there's where you'll access the quiz in the weekly guide. And there is an example of the quiz format. So that you can see what this would look like. And so you can see here with the format and timing, I've detailed everything I just said, and that you can start this. And this is not really an example of the quiz. It's an example of the quiz format. The first question, there are 8 questions that count. The first question is just an acknowledgement of the academic integrity statement, which is that you agree to not get any outside help or give any help, and that this is your own work. So you'll just sort of acknowledge that and agree to abide by that very quickly. And then it'll tell you can't move backwards. And then you'll have here, example of a multiple choice question. What is the 3rd letter of the English alphabet? Okay, I'm going to select C. And what's an example of a multiple choice question? What is 4 plus 3 times 2 times 1? This one's tricky because you got to do 2 times 1 and then times 3 first. So we end up with 3 times 3, which is 9, plus 4, which is 13. And then I can go to next page. I'm going to confirm that I'm not going to go backwards. And then there are some multi-select questions. This one here, it tells you how many answers you're looking for that are correct. So which of the following statements uses the word there correctly? Select the 2 true statements. So you're told which 2 or how many, it might be 2, it might be 3, that you're looking for the true statements in these multi-select questions. And so I think they're already there. That's incorrect. There are a ton. Nope, I love this play and I think their costumes are really awesome. That one's good. I will meet you there. No. My friends are nice and I like to share their food with me. Yes. I like my parents because they're fun to be around. No. And then an example of a multiple choice. 2/3 divided by 4/3. Then in this case, you have to remember, and I put this one because I see it's one that some people struggle with the math. Remember that when you divide, it's basically, what's the best way to say it? You're taking 1 times the reciprocal of it, and so in this case, it just ends up being 1/2. And so I can submit the quiz. And then I'm going to allow it to be graded. You won't have that option. I'm going to allow that there. And then we can go ahead and see that I got 4 out of 4. But that's just, you won't necessarily have that option, to see it graded, but you will have your immediate grade feedback once the quiz is over. Okay, so that is the quiz. There are these resources for helping you study. So to make sure that you can review the material. And so one thing that you'll notice is that there's all the copies of these annotated worked examples. So if you need to work through an example, and then there are, in addition, all the solutions to the check-ins are posted here. So you can and they're written with the questions. So you can actually just go straight here and see full worked solutions for all the check-ins. That's going to be a great, great place to go and study. And then any of the problem sets that you missed, the full solutions to the module problem sets are also posted at midnight on the day they're due. And so you can then, go through and see the problem sets for any of the problems that you didn't understand. So that is the quiz, the first quiz. They are each worth 5% of your final grade, so that totals to 35% for the 7 quizzes, which is comparable to the 2 in-semester exams that we used to have in the longer regular terms in the fall and spring. So you do want to prepare and kind of be ready to take that in the time format, and feel free to reach out to me with any questions whatsoever. Great work, and keep up the hard work. I know it can't be easy, so I notice it and I appreciate it, and hopefully everything is going well. All right, take care.